Atlantis guarded many secrets, but none as transformative as this. A law that says all energy is in constant motion, and with the right knowledge, you can turn it into anything you desire. They hid it for centuries, but today it finds you. You see, beneath the waves of the Atlantic, in temples that once gleamed with crystal light, the most advanced civilization our world has ever known understood something profound about the very fabric of reality itself. Something so powerful, so transformative, that when their civilization fell, the surviving priests scattered this knowledge to the four winds, hiding it in plain sight through mystery schools, ancient texts, and whispered teachings passed from master to student across millennia. Today, you're about to rediscover what they knew. By the time we're finished here, you won't just understand this ancient law. You'll have the practical tools to apply it immediately, turning the very energy of your thoughts into the reality you've been dreaming of. This isn't theory. This isn't wishful thinking. This is the fundamental principle that governs how all energy moves, transforms, and becomes matter. And once you truly grasp it, everything changes. Let me tell you about the law of perpetual transmutation of energy in the simplest terms possible, because complexity often hides truth rather than revealing it. Everything in existence, your thoughts, your emotions, the chair you're sitting in, the screen you're watching, the stars burning light years away, everything is energy in constant motion, constantly transforming from one state to another. Nothing is ever truly static. Nothing ever truly dies or disappears. It only changes form. But here's where it gets interesting, and here's what the Atlanteans knew that we've forgotten. You are not a passive observer of this process. You are an active participant. Your consciousness, your thoughts, your focused intention, these are not separate from the energy of the universe. They are part of it. They direct it. In the crystal temples of Atlantis, in what they called their mystery schools. This was the first principle taught to those deemed ready for deeper wisdom. The masters would demonstrate it simply. A student would focus intensely on a bowl of water, and through understanding this law, through aligning their mental energy with the vibrational frequency of ice, they could change the very state of that water, not through magic, through law, natural law. The fragments of this teaching survived. You can find echoes of it in the Hermetic texts, particularly in what later became known as the Kybalion. You can trace its influence through ancient Egyptian mystery schools, through the teachings of Pythagoras, through the hidden wisdom preserved by the Gnostics. But the full understanding, the practical application, that was nearly lost when Atlantis fell beneath the waves. Nearly, but not completely, because this law operates whether you understand it or not. Every moment of every day, the energy of your thoughts, amplified by the emotion behind them, is transmuting into your experience of reality. The question isn't whether this is happening. The question is whether you're conscious of it, whether you're directing it, or whether you're letting it happen by default. Now, you might wonder, if this knowledge is so powerful, so transformative, why was it hidden? Why wasn't it taught openly, shared freely with all humanity. The answer lies in the very reason Atlantis fell. You see, according to the fragments that survived, Atlantis didn't collapse due to natural disaster alone. The final cataclysm came because this law, this power to transmute energy into reality, fell into the wrong hands. It was used not for harmony, not for elevation, but for control, for domination, for the pursuit of power over others, rather than mastery over oneself. The surviving priests, the keepers of the sacred knowledge, scattered across the earth. Some fled to Egypt, some to what would become Greece, others to the far reaches of Asia. And they made a vow. This knowledge would be preserved, but it would be hidden. It would be encoded in symbols, buried in allegories, shared only with those who had proven themselves ready through years of preparation and spiritual development. They weren't keeping it from humanity out of cruelty. They were protecting humanity from itself. Think about it. In the wrong hands, with the wrong intentions, the ability to consciously direct the transmutation of energy could become a tool of manipulation, of exploitation. The ancient priesthoods understood that with great power comes great responsibility, and that this power required not just understanding, but wisdom. Not just knowledge, but character. So they hid it. They embedded it in mystery traditions. They wrapped it in myth and symbol. They required initiates to spend years proving they could handle lesser teachings before being trusted with greater ones. But times have changed. Consciousness has evolved. And perhaps you're ready. Perhaps you finding this video, this moment, this teaching, isn't an accident at all. Perhaps it's the universe itself, the living intelligence that moves through all things, recognizing that you're ready to remember what you once knew. Now, before we dive into the practical application, and I promise you, we will get intensely practical, let me show you how this ancient wisdom aligns perfectly with what modern science has discovered about the nature of reality. Einstein's famous equation, E equals mc squared, isn't just a formula. It's a revelation. It tells us that energy and matter are interchangeable. Matter is simply energy slowed down, condensed, given form. Energy is matter liberated, set free to move and transform. At the quantum level, physicists have discovered that the fundamental building blocks of reality aren't solid particles at all. They're patterns of probability, waves of potential that collapse into specific realities only when observed. The observer, the consciousness looking at the system, actually influences what becomes real. Think about ice becoming water, becoming steam. Same essential substance, three completely different forms, transformed simply by the application of energy, in this case, heat. The ice doesn't disappear when it becomes water. The water doesn't vanish when it becomes steam. The molecules simply move faster, vibrate at a higher frequency, take on a new form. Your thoughts work the same way. At their most fundamental level, thoughts are patterns of electrical and chemical energy moving through your brain. But they don't stop there. Every thought generates an electromagnetic field. Every emotion amplifies that field. Every moment of focused intention sends ripples through the quantum field that connects all things. The Atlanteans understood this intuitively. They called it different names: the prima materia, the universal substance, the cosmic fire. But they were describing the same fundamental truth that quantum physics is only now beginning to understand. Consciousness and matter are not separate things. They're different expressions of the same underlying reality. And just as you can apply heat to ice and create water, you can apply consciousness to energy and create experience. But here's where the spiritual dimension becomes crucial, because this isn't just about understanding the mechanics. It's about understanding the responsibility that comes with conscious participation in creation. In the temples of Atlantis, students were taught that the universe is not a dead machine, but a living system. Every action, every thought, every intention sends waves through this system. What you transmute your energy into doesn't just affect you, it affects the whole. This is why the ancient teachings always emphasized harmony, balance, service to the greater good. Not because these are nice moral platitudes, but because they're practical requirements for anyone who wants to work consciously with universal law. When your intentions align with the natural flow of evolution, with growth, with healing, with love, the universe supports you. When they work against that flow, you create resistance, turbulence, ultimately chaos. The choice, always, is yours. Now we come to the heart of it. Everything I've shared so far is preparation. This is where theory becomes practice, where ancient wisdom becomes daily transformation. The Atlanteans understood that knowing a law intellectually and applying it practically are two entirely different things. So they developed what we might call a systematic approach, a daily practice framework for consciously participating in the perpetual transmutation of energy. I'm going to share this framework with you exactly as it was taught in their mystery schools, but translated into language and methods that work in our modern world. The first step is awareness, recognizing your current energy flow. Every morning, before you do anything else, spend 5 minutes in honest assessment. Where is your energy currently going? What are you thinking about? What emotions are you carrying? What habits are you unconsciously feeding? Think of yourself as an energy accountant. You have a finite amount of life force each day, and it's going somewhere. The question is where? Are you spending energy on worry? That's transmuting your life force into more situations to worry about. Are you spending it on gratitude? That's transmuting it into more experiences to be grateful for. Are you spending it on past regrets? That's keeping you locked in patterns that no longer serve you. The Atlanteans taught that unconscious energy expenditure is the greatest tragedy of human existence. Not because the energy is lost. Energy can never be lost, only transformed. But because unconscious transformation usually creates more of what you don't want rather than what you do want. Awareness is the first step to conscious transmutation. The second step is intention setting, choosing your focus. Here's where most people go wrong. They try to transmute energy in too many directions at once. They want better health, and more money, and perfect relationships, and spiritual enlightenment, and career success all at the same time. The universe doesn't work that way. Energy follows focus. Dispersed focus creates dispersed results. Each day, choose one primary focus for your energy transmutation. Just one. It might be healing a specific health challenge. It might be manifesting a particular opportunity. It might be transforming a limiting belief pattern. But choose one. The Atlanteans called this the sacred singularity, the practice of gathering all your scattered energy into one concentrated beam of intention. Write it down. Make it specific. Instead of, "I want better health," try your transmuting the energy of inflammation in my left knee into complete healing and pain-free movement. Instead of, "I want more money," try, "I am transmuting the energy of scarcity in my consciousness into an income of exactly X from doing work that serves others." Specificity gives the universe something to work with. The third step is visualization, adding emotional fuel. Now we come to the part that the ancient texts call the sacred fire, the practice of adding emotional energy to your intention. See the outcome in vivid detail, not just visually, but with all your senses. If you're transmuting energy toward healing, feel what it's like to move without pain. Hear the doctor's amazed voice telling you the condition has resolved. Smell the fresh air you're breathing as you exercise freely again. If you're transmuting energy toward abundance, feel the relief and joy of financial freedom. See the numbers in your bank account. Touch the check or the contract that represents your breakthrough. But here's the crucial part. Feel the emotions as if the transmutation has already occurred. Gratitude, joy, relief, excitement, wonder. The Atlanteans understood that emotion is the catalyst that speeds up the transmutation process. Thought without emotion moves slowly. Thought with powerful, positive emotion moves like lightning. This isn't positive thinking or wishful thinking. This is conscious participation in the fundamental process of creation itself. The fourth step is energy redirection, immediate transmutation practice. Throughout your day, you'll notice your energy moving in directions that don't align with your chosen focus. This is normal. This is expected. This is where the real practice begins. The moment you catch yourself in frustration, immediately transmute it into determination. The moment you notice envy, transmute it into inspiration. The moment you feel anxiety, transmute it into focused preparation. This isn't about denying or suppressing difficult emotions. It's about recognizing them as raw energy that can be redirected. The Atlanteans taught that every emotion, even the most challenging ones, contains power that can be harnessed for positive transformation. A practical technique: when you notice unwanted emotional energy, take 3 deep breaths and ask yourself, how can I use this energy to move toward my intention instead of away from it? Anger about injustice can become energy for creating positive change. Fear about the future can become energy for taking practical steps in the present. Sadness about loss can become energy for appreciating what remains. The fifth step is physical alignment, bridging inner and outer. Here's where many spiritual teachings fall short. They forget that we live in a physical world that operates according to physical laws, as well as spiritual ones. Every day, take at least one concrete, physical action that aligns with your energy transmutation intention. If you're working on healing, research natural remedies, schedule that appointment, or prepare nourishing food. If you're working on abundance, update your resume, reach out to a potential client, or learn a new skill. The universe responds to consciousness, but it also responds to commitment demonstrated through action. When your inner work and outer work align, transmutation accelerates exponentially. The sixth and final step is gratitude amplification, sealing the transformation. Each day with gratitude for the transmutation already in motion. Not gratitude for what you hope will happen, but gratitude for what is happening right now at the level of energy and consciousness. Thank the universe for allowing you to participate consciously in the law of perpetual transmutation. Thank your higher self for the wisdom to focus your energy constructively. Thank the ancient masters who preserved this knowledge through dark ages so you could rediscover it now. The Atlanteans taught that gratitude is the seal that locks positive transmutation in place. It's like signing a contract with the universe, acknowledging the changes you've set in motion and giving permission for them to manifest fully. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds beautiful, but what about when motivation fails? What about when life gets overwhelming? What about when it feels like nothing is changing despite my efforts? Let me address these concerns directly, because the Atlanteans faced the same human challenges we face today. Start smaller than you think you need to. If focusing on your intention for 20 minutes feels overwhelming, start with 5 minutes. If 5 minutes feels like too much, start with 1 minute. The law of perpetual transmutation doesn't require massive effort. It requires consistent direction. Think of it like steering a ship. You don't need to yank the wheel dramatically to change course. A small, steady adjustment, maintained over time, will take you to a completely different destination. Also, pair your practice with something you already enjoy. Listen to your favorite music during visualization. Practice energy redirection while taking a walk you love. Drink your favorite tea while setting intentions. The brain learns to associate pleasure with new habits, making them sustainable. One common misunderstanding is thinking this law means you have to do more, work harder, push more intensely. That's addition thinking, not transmutation thinking. In transmutation, you're not adding more energy to the system. You're aligning the energy you already have more effectively. It's like tuning a radio to the right frequency. The radio waves were always there. You're just receiving them clearly now. A person who tries to manifest abundance through sheer effort and force often creates more struggle. A person who transmutes their energy toward abundance through alignment and flow often finds opportunities appearing effortlessly. Work smarter, not harder. Align deeper, not more forcefully. The biggest block to effective energy transmutation is often internal resistance in the form of limiting beliefs. I don't deserve this. Good things don't happen to people like me. I'm not spiritual enough. This is too good to be true. The Atlanteans developed a simple practice for this: belief transmutation through affirmative replacement. When you catch yourself thinking, "I can't," immediately transmute it to "I am becoming." When you think, "This won't work for me," transmute it to "I am learning how to make this work." When you think, "I don't deserve this," transmute it to "I am worthy of all good things." Don't try to fight the limiting belief directly. That often strengthens it. Simply redirect the energy into a more supportive pattern. Remember, beliefs are just thoughts you've thought repeatedly. Change the thought pattern, and you change the belief. Change the belief, and you change your ability to transmute energy effectively. Before we conclude, I want to address something crucial. This law, this power of conscious energy transmutation, is not just a tool for getting what you want. It's not just about manifesting a better job or healing your body or attracting your soulmate. Oh, it can certainly help with all of these things. At its deepest level, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy is about remembering who you truly are and why you're really here. The Atlantean masters taught that every soul incarnates on Earth as a conscious agent of universal evolution. You're not here just to have experiences. You're here to transform energy in service of the greater good. You're here to take the raw material of human experience and transmute it into wisdom, compassion, beauty, healing, and love. Every time you transmute fear into courage, you're not just helping yourself, you're adding courage to the collective consciousness of humanity. Every time you transmute hatred into understanding, you're healing wounds that have festered in the human soul for generations. Every time you transmute despair into hope, you're literally changing the vibrational frequency of the planet. This is why the ancient teachings always emphasized spiritual development alongside practical application. The more evolved your consciousness becomes, the more responsibly you use this power. The more aligned you become with universal principles of harmony and love, the more the universe supports your individual intentions. In the final days of Atlantis, the masters who chose to preserve this knowledge made a prophecy. They said that when humanity was ready, when the consciousness of the planet had evolved sufficiently, this knowledge would resurface, not just in hidden schools or secret societies, but openly, available to anyone with the wisdom to use it constructively. They said this time would be marked by great upheaval, by the breakdown of old systems and the birth of new ones. They said it would be a time when individuals would need to take responsibility for their own consciousness, their own energy, their own participation in creation. Does this sound familiar? You're living in that prophesied time. You're part of that great transmutation. And the fact that you're here, receiving this teaching now, is not an accident. You're remembering. Let me leave you with this. the essence of everything we've explored together. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy tells us that all energy is in constant motion, constantly transforming from one state to another. You are not separate from this process. You are a conscious participant in it. Through awareness, intention, visualization, energy redirection, physical action, and gratitude, you can direct the transmutation of energy in your life toward outcomes that serve your highest good and the good of all. The ancient masters of Atlantis preserved this knowledge through the darkest periods of human history, so that it could find you now, in this moment, when you're ready to use it wisely. Start today. Start now. Choose one area of your life where you want to see transformation. Apply the 6-step framework we've discussed. Be consistent, be patient, and trust the process. Most importantly, remember that this isn't just about changing your external circumstances. It's about remembering your true nature as a conscious co-creator in an intelligent, living universe. As you leave this video, as you step back into your daily life, carry this with you. You are more powerful than you know. You are more connected than you remember. You are more loved than you can imagine. And the very energy that flows through your thoughts, your emotions, your intentions, that energy is the same force that moves planets, that births stars, that evolves galaxies. You have been entrusted with sacred power. Use it wisely. Use it lovingly. Use it in service of the highest good. The ancient masters are watching. The universe is supporting you. And the time for remembering is now. Take a moment right now to affirm your commitment to conscious energy transmutation. Leave a comment below saying, "I remember who I am, and I turn thought into reality." Let this affirmation be the first step in your journey of conscious creation. You didn't stumble on this by accident. Atlantis whispers through time, and today it whispered to you. The law is real. The power is yours. The time is now. Remember who you are.